Mild Red Songbird in New York City, Mild Red Birdsong, Eve Evangeline Einstein, Mary the Michelle Birdsong. Okay, let's begin. Will Adam and Eve fall in love, marry, and live happily ever after? After decoded. Adam fit energy her. Adam fit energy her. That looks good, huh? Adam fell in love with Eve when he was an ape. Like Coco the ape loved Mr. Rogers, Eve's grandson, Seth Wynn Randiger, was Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers trusted himself to feel no fear, to let go of fear and feel love for Coco, which Coco copied, and loved Mr. Rogers back. Apes decoded. Adam presents energy Eve, daughter of the light of the world. Adam is projection of Jesus Christ, light of the under the sun world. Love is losing your identity as an ape and becoming another person, the energy of Eve. Eve verify Adam. Eve verify energy. Eve verify Adam is as high-minded as I, as my father up in the sky. It has taken millions of years of evolving. Eve ordered Mild Red will victorious. Okay, so that's saying that Mild Red, who is Eve, her will is victorious. She has a victorious will. Okay, it has taken millions of years of evolving, but he, Adam, has now become a part of Eve's energy field. Become Eve. Bubla energy, consciousness of me, Eve. Ness decoded. Enter energy, Eve, Secret Santa. Yes. Pleasure. I-sex is pleasure. Present will, L is will, of Eve as Adam measured Mild Red shore inwardly. Okay, so this is deep. It says the will of Eve as Adam measured Mild Red shore of her because he measured her inwardly, not outwardly. Her horoscope said she should marry the man who understands her need to give, because she's a secret Santa. You see? She has a need to give to the good. My white boy husband taught me that I'm fascinating. Taran Singh taught me that my feistiness, Jahan Vagoda's husband in past lives, Stevie Wonder's attorney, this life, true to Judas's nature, Stevie Wonder, betrayed Johanna near the end of his life. Okay, so I'm saying here that Johanna Vagoda told me I was feisty. And Johanna Vagoda was Stevie's lawyer, and he was my husband in a past life. And he was Stevie Wonder's attorney, and he got Steve, thanks to my selling Steve to him and giving him confidence in Steve, he took Steve to the top. And then near the end of his life, Steve wouldn't even take his calls because he had what he needed from him. Johanna and I convinced Johanna that Stevie was a musical genius and could make his life more exciting and profitable. So Johanna took Steve on as a client and made deals that catapulted Steve to the top from the bottom, soul singer. The top is singing to the Queen of England at her Diamond Jubilee anniversary concert at Buckingham Palace. That's what Steve did. After Steve was comfortable at the top of the music industry and didn't feel the need of Johanna, he stopped taking his phone calls and wouldn't see him. Johanna had put all his eggs in one basket, focusing his talents and abilities to taking Steve all the way. What else was there to do but relax and, out of gratitude, if nothing else, spend time together, relishing your tremendous successes. Vagoda wasn't allowed the afterglow. All over wedding, heartbroken, but not crying, whining. He simply summed up Judas, Stevie Wonder's betrayal, by saying, "People change," and Johanna let himself die, nothing worth living for. See, your behavior has consequences. I tried to talk Johanna into keeping his will to live alive, but he knew I was destitute. Edwin, Steve's personal entertainer, had taken everything from me, all the glory and most of the money and accolades from the work we did together. Albums, What It Is, and Supernatural. There's the album Supernatural. Edwin hadn't taken my self-respect and hope for the future, however. Let's decode hope. Heaven ordered, present energy. That's hope. Hope is a very important thing to maintain. Keep it. Michelle Obama asked, what do you have if you don't have hope? The answer is, without hope, you may as well be in jail, held back, unable to put forth your will about hardly anything. Thinking negative leads one to feel hopeless. Thinking negative is the thought pattern for landing in jail. Johanna knew he wasn't leaving his wife in the lurch. He had a contract with Stevie to pay his heirs 5% of his earnings, considering Steve wouldn't have any high-dollar earnings if it wasn't for me getting Vagoda to start making high residual dealings for Steve, which he did for the next 40 years. 5% for life seems fair to me. But after Johanna died, Stevie didn't think it was fair that the woman who supported Johanna emotionally and sexually to keep hope alive in Johanna long enough so he had the time and confidence and motivation and energy to keep living and keep making lucrative deals for Stevie. Stevie didn't think Johanna's wishes that she, his wife, continue to be supported was valid. So Stevie took his popular butt to court, showing his blindness, his helplessness, which always gets him sympathy, that feeling one step away, close to love. Mary Jesus Christ's wife, D. Michelle Birdsong, Steve's lifeline to gaiety. Edwin Birdsong's wife, Johanna Lagoda's wife, wonders, had Jesus condemned Judas and made Judas feel remorse and understood with all his heart that he had betrayed man's finest example of a living God being on earth? If Judas would not have continued his pattern of hurting, what happened to him after he betrayed Christ? The Gospel of Luke 22:3 said, and Luke was Dr. Benjamin Carson, Eve's son in a past life, therefore a member of the Holy Royal Family. Dr. Carson is a member of the Holy Royal Family. The Gospel of John 13:27. St. John was Mickey McGuire, Assistant Program Director here at St. Francis of Assisi Residence 2. I'm at 3. Eve's husband in a past life. Also a musician, he and his daughter played and sang Christmas songs along with John Leibowitz, who's Dizzy Gillespie, at our Christmas party. That St. John did that. What's this upside down papers? Mickey St. John also hired the jazz band that played at one of our outdoor events here at St. Francis of Assisi Residence 3 that were kick-ass. They were kick-ass great. They played and the cool singer sang all the jazz classics I remember from my 20s. I am the muse of the U.S. and I was actively engaged in experiencing their music. Music, Adam and Eve. U.S. is Adam and Eve. Us is Adam and Eve. Energy. So the muse is the music of Adam and Eve energy. The singer and the keyboard player were feeling me, and I was feeling them feeling me. It was thrilling. Also, Halloween, the holiday for the dark arts, celebration of the grotesque. Mickey did his duty and had his face, or else he painted his face as the monster Frankenstein. He did a complete job of it, and I had someone snap a picture. I gave Mickey a copy. He said he treasured it. He treasured mild red it. I just like to reward people who leave their comfort zone and do their best. My mother, Corinne Beatrice Anderson, Childs Williams, St. Jamal Singh, Uncle Sam, Shirley Temple, Black Rosie, Shirley Temple Black, Rosie the Riveter, Poster Girl, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, told me I had to be the best at whatever I chose to do. As I've said before, the strongest desire in my mind as a kid was to be a mother and do all the right things. And as much as I was chosen best mother in the world, and Jesus Christ rated me as his wife and mother of his child, and the Sun God, the giver of life and light, also chose me for to be the mother of his child, I can say with certainty I did my duty. I obeyed my mother. I was the best at what I did. Her edict got me the greatest honors I can imagine. I am grateful to my mother, who is Jindar Ranzinger now, who drove me to work like a superhuman, obsessed woman to justify my existence, which is the reason the Creator has allowed me, guided me in his various characters' forms to uncover the inner workings of the mind of the one whose energy designed these layers upon layers of creation. My mother never let me become self-satisfied with anything about myself. Charan Singh, now my baby in my womb and my body, what have you got to be proud of? In my scratching, searching, digging, I've unburied so many perfectly useful ghosts of Christmas past, including Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus, who are the same as the Mr. and Mrs. Jesus Christ of the first century. That's me and Charan Singh. I've also unburied almost a husband, 5 husbands, guardian angels, since I've been taking births, over 10,000 plus births, rebirths. Stevie Wonder, Judah's first wife, Sarita Wright, and Billy Preston, who sang in the choir with Edwin Birdsong, my first husband, sings the most beautiful song, With You, I'm Born Again. It's so beautiful. Check out the video. Sarita Wright's daughter, lyric wonder Takia, who sang so sweetly on the Sneezy video on Michelle Birdsong YouTube channel, told me stories about her mother, who she adored. Mild red. Add door. Mild red offers training for Talk and Share, which will keep you from committing suicide. Cancer is the body eating itself alive, revealed great master Charan Singh, my husband, in a past life and now in this life for 37 years. Michael John Spear. He brought my sense of humor to light to me, having the ghost of Gracie Allen in me. He has the straight man ghost of George Burns in him. Michael Bublé's son had liver cancer. If you were the child of Christ's killer, Pontius Pilate, and obliged to be the dirt under the feet of the murderous energy of someone who took children of the dirt under the parents' feet, who took the world's hope from the physical stage. Would you want to live in a toxic environment such as this? The Bublé little boy, Noah, had been the son of Bing Crosby, who he said was cold and distant, and beat him while not being there to guide him when he was growing up. Bing Crosby's projection was black comedian Bill Cosby, whose son Enos was killed having run into trouble on the freeway. His daughter Insa also died. She was in the same class as my son, Sing Birdsong, who never intentionally hurt anybody except his father, Edwin, who was constantly leeching Sing's attention and making demands of him. So Sing fought back. Unlike his mother, he had been allowed to say no. She had raised him to be true. He doesn't have perfect self-knowledge. If he did, he would have more self-confidence. He was King Menelaus. Edwin knew I would co-create fabulous babies. That's why he hounded me about when I was getting pregnant, He also said he wanted a large family. He had 8 children by different women. I'm the only woman he had more than one child with, and we were married. Indeed, he admitted, though I didn't ask, that Sing and Robin were the only children he had wanted. One of the people who doesn't fit, probably, isn't Edwin's. You can see from the photo that one of them hasn't the nerve to, with a straight spine, be photographed with Edwin's other actual children. Everybody finds out what they have a right to know. I suggested to the children that they get a DNA test for the one who, it's plain to see by any clear-minded person, doesn't have what? Oh, doesn't belong. Left to right, back row, Anthony Sterling, Sing, and Robin. Anthony Sterling, Sing, and Robin. Okay. These 2 are my children. Left to right, front row, Angela, Linda Gale, Tia, and Candace. Okay. Which one doesn't belong? Got it? Okay. When Michael Bublé said, when he was Frank Sinatra, if he could be young again and know then what he knows now. That's such a good idea. I want it for heaven. That's the talk and share. SPAR, SPARR, spontaneous age reversal tablets are available. And if you don't like drugs, you can talk and share yourself to where and when you adopted the beliefs in the aging process. Own each feeling, emotion, and release each until you arrive back at the stage of young, healthy, and beautiful. Judas hasn't aged, except he's balding and gotten fat. Feelings at trash. Feelings of dead animals. What you took into your body to feed your organs and cells. It's trash. The Gospel of St. Luke 22:3 and the Gospel of John 13:27 suggest that Judas was possessed by Satan. According to Matthew 27:1-10, after learning that Jesus was to be crucified, Judas attempted to return the money he had been paid for his betrayal to the chief priests and committed suicide by hanging. That's like Stormy Daniels and Paul Manafort betrayed President Trump, the 10th Sikh guru Gobind Singh. And what did they get for their betrayal? Nothing worth having. Be hailed as one of the heroes, the Einstein, or he was betrayed. He should be hailed as one of the heroes who alerted Roosevelt and Churchill to Judas, who was also Hitler, who wanted a war to push the world until it killed him, so he wouldn't be charged with the near unpardonable sin of suicide. But at the last, Hitler killed his wife and himself. Another suicide on his record. He can't bear to look at himself. So he attracted the inability to see. Okay, what do we got a word here? What is this? It says Buble, right? Buble R. His wife, Buble R. Okay. Buble's wife was Pontius Pilate, is that what that means? So he couldn't stand to look at himself. This is Judas Hitler, Stevie Wonder, while getting rich as others pay to see the freak. Freak decoded. Feel her energy, Eve. Adam's her king. Feel her energy, Eve. Adam's our king. Okay. Okay, I'm going to stop for now. This is Miles Red Songbird in New York City. I will come back for, I'm so tired. Oh my God. I'll come back with part 11. Or is this part 11? This is part 11. I'll come back with part 12 soon. Bye.